All right, your 1.2 notes, we're going to be comparing and ordering integers today. So 2 different learning targets, you're going to compare them, and then you're going to put integers in order. In section 1, we talked about our number line. And so you're going to want to visualize that number line with all of these problems that we're doing today. So let's talk about how you order integers. So if we visualize our number line, how do we put things in order? Well, how they're listed on the number line is anything that is to the right of 0 is going to be positive. So that means that this would be going down, this would be going up. So the further right that we go on the number line, the greater the number. So the further right on the number line, the bigger or greater the number. So I could keep this number line going forever and ever, and the farther I get, the bigger the number is going to be, okay? So it's important to remember that when we put these in order. So if I asked you to place these integers in order from least to greatest, we're going to want to visualize what would be the furthest on our negative side up here. Remember, anything to the left of 0 are going to be negative numbers. So the furthest left would be a negative 20. I don't see it on here, but it would be continuing to be the last number I would see on this number line. So we're going to start with negative 20. And if you want, cross that out. The next smallest number would be negative 9. I see that next here. And then smaller, or bigger, is negative 2. And then I'm done with my negatives. It gets a little easier once you figure those negatives out. So then the next number would be 0, 7, and 11. So sometimes if you struggle with which negative is smaller, because I know it's kind of opposite of what you'd think, but think about it as temperature. Would you want to be in a negative 20 degree temperature or a negative 2? Which one's colder? Negative 20 would be much, much colder than negative 2, so that's going to be a smaller number. Okay? Go ahead and try B, putting those in order. All right, our next learning target is talking about comparing integers, and we're going to use inequality symbols to compare 2 or more integers. So whenever you see this symbol right here, this stands for less than, and then this symbol right here stands for greater than, and then of course this is our equal sign. That's not an inequality sign, but if 2 numbers are equal to each other, that's the symbol you're going to use. Now, a lot of people use various hints for how to remember these comparison symbols. So some that I've heard in the past, some people like to think them as alligator signs. Maybe you've heard of that. So the alligator eats the bigger number. Sometimes that might help you. Another thing that I've heard is the arrow. Think of it as an arrow. And the arrow points to the smaller number. Points to the smaller. Okay, so if we're looking at these symbols, the number that's smaller would be on this side of the inequality, and the number that's bigger, the alligator is going to eat it. So whatever helpful hints you have, maybe the next time we talk about this, if you can help us out and remember or share some of those helpful hints, that would be wonderful if you could bring that up next time we're together. Okay, so let's try some of these, and then I'll have you try some of them on your own. So our first one here, I'm comparing 5 and negative 9. So I have to think about which one is bigger. And I'm going to use my alligator example. So 5 is bigger, so my alligator is going to eat the bigger number. And if my other example, the arrow is pointing to the smaller number. Go ahead and try B on your own. All right, C looks like it's bringing this absolute value concept back. Remember, absolute value is what's the distance this number is from 0. So this is just 10. And then whenever I ask you for absolute value, I'd write that actual value down beneath or below. So what is the absolute value of negative 10? The answer is 10. So now I'm comparing 10 and 10, and those are equal integers. So I'm going to put an equal sign right there. Okay? You should be able to try the rest on your own and check your answers. And I think that is it. So you're done with section 1.2. You should be able to order and compare integers.